Hey there, what's happening, boys and girls? Thanks for stopping back into the channel today here with the Rust Belt Mechanic. We are back at it here with the Can Am in the garage, and today we're going to be taking care of one of my pet peeves so far on this machine. One of the biggest things that I absolutely hated is from the factory stock, there's only one mirror on this thing, one little one right there, a rear view mirror for it, and looking behind you in any way, shape, or form on this is such a pain in the butt. The doors, they open suicide, so you can't just open the door and kind of peek behind you. The wheels, they stick out farther, and the rear fenders, it's just, there is no visibility whatsoever behind you, so we're going to be taking care of that today in two ways. We're going to be installing a set of sport racing mirrors from Can Am BRP. We're also going to be kind of installing one of these bougie things, a backup rear view camera kit from BRP. Also, going to be some really cool stuff. Stay tuned. Now the mirrors, those are going to be some really easy things. It's literally like 2 bolts on each one of them. They're going to be really easy to put in. The backup camera system will be a little bit harder, so we're going to be getting into that one. First thing that we're going to be doing today is we got to remove the roof so we can get access to everything we need, and then some of the electrical stuff that we're going to need is also going to be inside the center console. But let's get the roof off and let's get the package open, see what the kit comes with. So removing the roof was pretty simple. As you can see, each one only had there was only 4 of these little screw-on little clips. It makes it really easy for one person to remove this factory steel roof assembly. All right, let's have a look and see what we actually get inside of this kit. Instructions on most of the BRP items, you actually go to instructions.brp.com and you got to put in the kit number. The kit number on this one is 715004905. Comes with a nice big mirror assembly. One little cable that's attached to it. The rear camera, wow, that is heavy duty. Looks like it has some LEDs for maybe some close night vision. Really heavy duty. Wow, that's built, guys. And we've got zip ties. More zip ties. That's what we like to see. Lots of zip ties. We've got the cable assembly that is going to be fed for our power, ignition, and ground sources. Looks like the audio or the video cables and what goes up into the actual receiver. What else we got here? More extended video cable, 6.4 millimeter. And then we've got a couple of pieces of hardware here where these things are going to screw in. And then I don't think this is going to be used on our specific application, but that would be a mount for the mirror assembly as well. Some more little bracket holders for everything, and some more hardware in the bag. So pretty cool to see everything. So we'll get logged in over onto BRP's instruction site and we'll see how this thing's going to roll. So the cool thing that we're also going to be trying to do in each one of these series is point out some or a few of these SP tools that are going to be helping us out in this little journey along the way in upgrading everything on the Can Am. Today, the biggest thing that's going to be helping me is a nice set of floodlights. These pod lights from SP are workable up to 1,000 lumens, able to be dimmed, chargeable on the back, USB power. The magnet on these things are super crazy. They're so bright and they're so nice. IP65 rated, so it's going to be just about waterproof in just about any kind of thing that I'm going to be putting it through. So we're going to be using this along our way to light everything so you guys can see. We're going to be going over to the other side and removing the seat. Now I'm just going to show you on the driver's side what it's going to take to do that. We've got a couple of, looks like 13mm bolts on the each front side there, as well as on the lower section in the back. Now the other thing that I'm going to be doing off camera here is lowering this driver's seat. I am 6'4", so we're going to be lowering this seat to the lower positions. You guys can see there's lower mounting ports on the front side, so we can lower it into those bottom holes. And then the back side has those little spacers. See that little sleeve right there? We can actually put the seat frame on the bottom side of that spacer, so we can use that one to lower the seat just about 2 inches, which will make it really nice for me. Over here behind the passenger seat, you guys can see we have all kinds of mud and stuff, but we're going to be removing our seatbelt retractors, which have these little rubber covers over everything, and this stud that goes through here, and these are going to be held on with 18mm nuts, 2 of them, one on each side, one there and there. And then down at the bottom, you can see we've got our, see down here, maybe, right there. On each side there is the 18mm nut on each one of these posts to be able to take off the nut and stud from the bottom of the seat as well. So now with the passenger seat out of the way, we've got it pulled out and we've got access to everything on our battery installer solenoid are here on the back, and then we're going to need to get this inner panel out, which also just clips into place with these blue clips. And that gives us access to our accessory port points, where the main battery connections and everything are going to be for a lot of the accessories that we're going to be putting on here over the next couple of videos. So we've got our wires all hooked into here, the main part of the cable into power and ground now, since we know exactly where those were going. And then, you know, just to be able to check everything out before I go running all of this wire through all these nooks and crannies and crevices, which I'll show you where it's supposed to run here in a minute. I hooked everything up here to how it's supposed to go. So there's got to be a couple of different versions and options on this one. So we ended up using the connection here that said V1, connected that to the spool of the midline video section, and then that connected into the rear camera. And then as we can see here, with the power on, it is able to have full view. Look at that guy right there. Huh. Nifty looking, eh? Okay, so we know everything works just how it's supposed to. I've got the ignition on. I wonder if this thing shuts on and off with ignition. So we'll pull the ignition out here. And I think it's got a time off. We'll see if it goes off with that one. If not, I only really want this thing to come on with ignition. So either we could press the power button right here for it, or I guess for that point we could also just put it onto our accessory source here on the bottom, which I think that's what I'll do. I'll have it just come on with the accessory with the key on. So first things first, with our wiring, we're going to unloom this one, and then we're going to be running the wire for the actual mirror assembly. We're going to run it through the back side of the center console, and then we've got our center section right here, which also just pulled out, which gives you a nice view of the turb ski there. And then we're going to run that one up and over. There's a little wiring harness right there that I think we're going to run it across, and we're going to run it over there to the passenger side, where we can see the little fish line that I ran up through the tube assembly. Going all mousetrap on you here. So we're going to take that fish line, tie it to the end of our wire, and we're going to pull it through the tube, and it's going to come out the front section of the tube. And then we're going to be zip tying it in 1 or 2 places, up here to the middle of the cross frame, and then here to where the newer mirror is going to mount. Alright, so we've got our wire all ran here. We pulled it through, fished it across, and then we've got to still put a couple of zip ties to hold this wire up against the bar here on top, which will be fine. It'll be covered by the audio roof eventually. Ran it through that tube, and then it came back down here. We're going to zip tie it there to that one, and then it's actually going to follow the factory harness. Get a light here. That's going to be across here. We're going to zip tie it across that harness and then into the center console area. The other key tip for this one, as you guys can see, is that this kit is also for a 4-door unit. So you can see that, yeah, there is plenty of extra cable here. So you want to leave the extra cable section here in the center console to be able to zip tie together and tuck up in this big open space area right here. Really good place to be able to tuck that. Next, we're going to be getting into the cable that we're going to run there back, and we're going to actually follow the other section up and over into the back for the rear camera. So now with mounting our camera here in the rear, we can see it has the bolts and nuts already kind of mounted into it, and there is a few of these slotted sections here where it's actually going to mount. And like I said, we're starting here in the back. We're going to mount the camera, and then we're going to take our cable here and we're going to route it in there because we want to have the leftover spool there in the center console after we're all done. So I think how we're going to do this, the wire is going to go up into the deck area, and we're going to follow the left frame, and we're going to go up across, probably in behind all the heat shielding and stuff, and then end up following that other wire that we just ran through the front along the same harness line. Now when running the wire for this, I tried to be thoughtful as I could about future projects and what's going to be coming apart and not. So our wire ran in through there, up through this area, use some of the zip straps that go up onto the plastic deck there, up the harness there, and then we followed the existing harness that we ran for the front section all the way back into the center console area. So back into that area, and we're going to see how much extra cable this kit actually gave us. Now Can Am, I can't think that this unit is that much smaller. There's got to be an extra like 10 to 15 feet of this video cable here in this kit that is going to be unused, which is just, man, that's nuts. That's a lot of freaking unused cable that we're going to be putting up into this center section. Hopefully not a lot of our other accessories is going to have a lot of extra cable, because this space is going to get taken up really quickly like. All right, let's hook everything all back up, make sure everything is working back how we had it before. It didn't pinch any wires, didn't mess anything up, and make sure everything's all put back in nice and neatly. Make sure you put your plastic cover back over your accessory outlets here as well. All right, so now everything is tucked up all nice fancy like up into the center console to where we can put our cover all back on there. Everything should be all nice and tucked out of the way. You don't want everything kind of jostling all around and getting any rubbed wires down the line. So all right, let's turn her on and see how it works. All right, so let's install our key, power on, and ta-da! Look at that. We have rear view camera. Now I'm going to step back here to the back to show you guys how cool of a wide angle lens this actually is. Hey! All right, so actually my left leg is going to be against the driver's wheel here, and my right leg is not. So you can see that this has almost 180 degrees of vision. It can see my right leg standing out behind the unit. So very, very wide angle lens, going to get you guys a lot of vision towards the back of the unit. So now if at any time while you're driving the power is going to be on as you're cruising along, and the mirror is still going to be turned on. So if you're just going to press this one button and hold it, it turns the unit off. So you can see, you just say nice wide angle mirror. It's a lot bigger than the factory one, so you're going to get a lot more vision out of this one too. If at any time you want to turn it back on, one press of the button, comes back on, simple as that. Anytime you pull the key out of the ignition, turns off with the ignition. I like it. All right, and now onto the race mirrors. Oh, not even open this one, guys. Obviously, visit instructions. Got a couple of bolts that already have Loctite onto them with some washers. And then just some really nicely packaged sport mirrors. Boy, they're tight in there too. And these should be plenty easy. Looks like the threaded section is going to be into the actual mirror unit itself. So pretty cool. So you're not going to have any nuts or anything, just those bolts right here, which look to be going to be an Allen or a 30 Torx, which is in good fashion because if you got a Phillips head screwdriver, a 10mm, or a 30 Torx, you can pretty much take apart this entire unit from what I've seen so far. There's one washer is going to go on the outside with the bolt. Fits through the 2 existing holes that are already in the actual frame of the vehicle. And we've got our ratchet wrench. Then we've got our ratchet and 30 Torx. Now remember guys, don't over tighten these. They should only be in like 15 foot-pounds at most, 10 to 15 foot-pounds. They're not very heavy duty threads on those. They do already have Loctite on them. But boy, I like the look of these mirrors. Nice, sleek Can Am right there on the side of them. Not bulging out too far. I don't like the ones that like really grip onto the frame or anything. So really cool to see these. Boy, it's gonna be really nice being able to have this much vision behind me now. Alright guys, well all in all, not too bad for one night's work. Kind of left the passenger side seat out because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff, and I have a feeling that I'm going to need to get to that power source outlet quite a bit more. Here in the next couple of days, which will be different for the video post schedule, we're going to be putting on the audio roof, and we're going to be doing the heated seats as well. Yep, that bougie stuff, them heated seats and that rear view camera. I'm very glad that I ended up doing this because the backing up of this thing was pretty scary prior to this stuff. Now I've got plenty of mirrors and I've got the backup camera. The mirrors were more necessary because, like I said in an earlier video, we are going to be making this thing street legal, and in Ohio you do have to have the mirrors on the outside. So well, that is one of the requirements I had to have anyway. So coming up, we are going to be doing our audio roof. We're going to be doing our power flip windshield. That's going to be something really cool. I'm looking forward to that. Another one of those Ohio state law requirements for road legal use, so it has to have a windshield. Be doing that and the heated seats, as well as the full road legal kit, which will be putting some turn signals, be doing some wiring work and everything with that one too. Yay, more zip ties, but that'll be a lot of fun. If you guys like this content, make sure you hit that thumbs up, turn on notifications so you get notified when I come out with cool, awesome content just like this one today. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and as always, you guys stay awesome.